Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going through all the SPLITGATE settings, how to boost your FPS. I'm going to be explaining and going through everything in the in-game, so make sure to watch till the end of the video. I'm also going to have timestamps in the description below for the settings you really are looking for. For the first one, we're going to be going through the video settings. This is probably the most important for FPS. Now, display mode, this should be on full screen, right? Because that will reduce the input delay. And then resolution, most people, like 99% of people, will have 1920 by 1080, but some people will have like the 1440p. Just put it on the highest one you have. Alright, resolution scale. Okay, basically this, if you don't know what this is how clear your game is. The higher this is, the less FPS you're gonna get, but the better your game's gonna look. The lower it is, the worse your game's gonna look, but the better your game's FPS is gonna be. So even if you have a very bad computer, I recommend you don't put this under 90 or like under 80. Definitely don't go under 80. It'll make your game look very bad. Just try to stay in between 80 and like 130 for most people. If you have a high-end PC, put it on max, but try to stay in that range, 80 to 130. All right, that'll probably be the best range for most people. Now for FOV, this is basically how zoomed out your game is. So higher your FOV, your PC is gonna need to capture more and more, resulting in lower FPS. But it barely affects the FPS. Like from my experience, just have this on max. Most people, everyone will probably recommend like to have this on max. It's honestly better. You'll see more around you. It'll give you a pretty good advantage. Frame rate limit. Now this is put this near your refresh rate. So if you have a 144 hertz monitor, put on 144. If you have a 165, put on 165. But if you have like a low one, like 60 or 75 hertz, just put it on 144 because your game is just gonna feel awful at 75 or 60 frames. So just recommend 144. Put it. But if you have obviously a trash computer, a potato, just put it low. But we're gonna go over the quality settings right now to help you with those FPS. Now, high end, low end, mid end. This is honestly the best settings for performance and FPS while your game still looks good. So view distance, you don't want to put this on near. You want to be able to see people from far, because if someone is playing against you and he can see you like from far and you can't, he's just gonna kill you and you're gonna be like wondering who shot you. You want to have this at least on far. Right, don't put it on medium or near. Have it on far so you can see people and shoot them from further. Everything else, just put it on low. Shadows low, low. Effects low, low. Portal quality, I just have it on medium. And portal frame rate, I have it on epic. Gameplay settings. Now, right here, there's not much to change. You just put your input device. And this is personal preference if you want blood or not. But I feel like if you're really that desperate for FPS, turn this off. Because, if you have this on, obviously your game has to still render more. So turn this off. If you're really that, like if your computer is really that bad, then turn off enable blood. All right, but for most people it doesn't really matter, and this is also personal preference. Now, this is one thing I do have to talk about. If you don't know how to find your Sens, and this is very important. So SPLITGATE is all tracking. Okay, you're tracking as he goes up and down, left and right. And there's not really much other stuff. Like there's some flick in there, but it's mostly tracking, right? Now, here's honestly the best method to find your Sens. Go into a custom game with bots and just practice with different Sens. So try putting it on 3 first, right? It's usually at 5 when you open the game. Try to put it on 3. Practice against the bots. Did it feel good? Then just put it up. Just keep adjusting and practicing against bots until you get it right. That's honestly the best way to find your Sens. Everything else is pretty much personal preference, right? Don't have this on. Auto sprint, again, personal preference. I don't know what this is really, but again, I don't have this toggle crouch on, personal preference. I do have toggle sprint on, but everything else here is just personal preference. Now, keybinds, keep everything the same, but let's go scroll down to portal, okay? It should be on Q and E, that's the default. Make it your mouse scroll. Trust me on this and make it your mouse wheel, okay? Have the first left portal wheel up, have the right portal wheel down, okay? And if you have a let's say a gaming mouse and you have keybinds on the side, you can use those to make it like you you can use those keybinds to close your portals, which is really important if you're being chased. And then for your inventory, right, where like you switch weapons, make it Q and E, because it's very close, right? You have your fingers on WASD, you can easily switch, and or you can use 1 and 2 if you're used to it, but there really is no point of using 1 and 2 if Q and E is way closer than that, right? This is very easy to get used to, and it will make you better. Trust me, get used to it, it's worth it. And for audio, the game was so loud. Have music volume, it's very loud. Just put it on 0 or 2 or 1. Just keep it low, right? And everything else, just put it first to 50. And then from there, play. Like, make a custom game or just play the game. And as you play, adjust, like, you know, adjust the volume. So I just put it all on 50 first. And then from there, I just, okay, the announcer volume is too high. Let me put it a bit lower. So that's honestly the best way to find good audio. And all of this is, again, personal preference. Have this on, it's hilarious, proximity chat. And don't forget to do this. Select your input device and your output device. Moving on to UI settings. Now this, show FPS, turn it on. Show damage numbers, turn it on. Show low ammo warning, turn it on. It's all gonna help you. Now for this, again, I recommend that you turn this off. Because basically what show sprint crosshair does is when you're sprinting, it turns your crosshair into like an arrow. And then when you stop moving, you're back to your normal crosshair. This can be confusing for most players. But just, in my opinion, I just say turn it off. Like, unless you're fine with it, but I still recommend turn it off, alright? And then here's where you can change your crosshair color when you're not like aiming on a target and when you are aiming at a target. And then here is where you can change your crosshair. You have all these options. You can just go through them and find which one fits for you. You can change your crosshair for any gun in the game. And privacy, again, this is all personal. If this has helped you guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. This video took me some time to make, and I'm doing this for you guys. So make sure to subscribe, it helps a lot. And I'll be making way more Splitgate content in the future. So stay tuned for that, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.